A high-profile scandal over cooking oil contamination in China has again sparked public outroar about food safety in the country. Watch till the end, because you won't believe how the story unfolds. The story started with an investigative report by state-backed media, the Beijing News. It revealed that tanker trucks had been loaded with cooking oil for delivery immediately after carrying chemical products, without any cleaning process between loads. This was said to be a widespread, cost-saving measure that was an open secret in the industry. The two companies implicated in the report are state transport and storage company Sinograin and private conglomerate Hopeful Grain and Oil Group. Both companies say they have launched their own investigations in response to the allegations. The edible oil transport industry is effectively in a state of unregulated chaos, an editor of the Beijing News said in the report, attributing the problem to inadequate manufacturer oversight and a lack of mandatory transport standards. Although China has guidelines suggesting dedicated vehicles for vegetable oils, these are merely recommended standards that leave manufacturers room to cut corners. After the reports concerning the transport of oil on the roads, another Chinese media, Caixin, uncovered that China's waterborne vessels transporting cooking oil are also used to ship chemicals and diesel fuel. Several industry insiders told Caixin that it's common for ships to transport both cooking oil and non-edible oils that could be toxic to humans. And while the vessels may be cleaned between voyages, it may not be thorough enough, and cleanliness certificates provided by third-party service providers could be fake, costing merely an equivalent of about $400 to obtain one, an insider say. A health expert commented that switching between chemicals and cooking oil shipments was simply unacceptable, even if the tanks are cleaned between uses, stating you just don't drink from the toilet even though it's cleaned. This is unfortunately only one of the many high-profile food safety scandals that happened in China in the past decades. In 2008, China saw the tainted infant formula milk crisis when over 300,000 infants were sickened and at least 6 died, after milk powder made by the local brand, Sanlu, was adulterated with the industrial chemical melamine to artificially boost protein levels. This exposed major gaps in China's food safety regulations and monitoring systems. Another major issue has been the use of gutter oil, illegally recycled cooking oil made from waste products, sewage, and even kitchen scraps. This low-cost but highly unsafe oil has been used by some unscrupulous restaurants and food producers, posing serious health risks to consumers. In 2011, the authorities have arrested 32 people for producing this type of oil, and had seized 90 tons of it in 14 provinces. This is equivalent to the amount typically used by 1/10 of all restaurants in the country. Contamination of rice has also been an ongoing concern. In 2013, it was discovered that significant amounts of rice grown in southern China contained excessive levels of the heavy metal cadmium, likely from industrial pollution. This led to a widespread rice crisis and consumer panic. There are several key factors that contribute to the continuing food safety issues in China. First, weak enforcements and corruption. Local officials often shield non-compliant producers to protect local economic or personal interests, undermining national food safety efforts. Second, economic incentives for cutting corners. The desire for greater profits encourages some producers to use cheaper but unsafe ingredients or methods despite the risks. Third, rapid industrialization and lax regulation. China's food production and distribution systems have rapidly industrialized, often outpacing the government's ability to effectively monitor and enforce safety standards. And finally, fragmented oversight responsibilities. Multiple government agencies share responsibility for food safety, leading to gaps, redundancies, and poor coordination. Although the Chinese government has taken some steps to strengthen its food safety framework, including passing stricter food safety laws with harsher penalties for violations, consolidating oversight under a single National Food and Drug Administration, and investing in more advanced food testing laboratories and monitoring systems, significant challenges still remain in such a deeply rooted problem concerning food safety, particularly corruption, that undermines enforcement. Back to the oil scandal that we were talking about earlier, it is found that the chief reporter behind the Beijing News investigation, Futao, has reportedly now become unreachable, and his account on the Chinese social media platform Weibo has now been deactivated. Internet users have noted that searches for Beijing News Han Futao on Weibo now yield no results. Content related to the reporter, including posts praising his work, appears to have been removed from the platform. The public is now concerned about the reporter's whereabouts and the reasons for his account's disappearance. At the same time, Waterborne, a logistics platform previously used to track tanker truck movements, has removed its vehicle tracking function, making it even more difficult to monitor transportation practices. So what do you think? What can be done to address the food safety concerns in China? Are you worried about food safety next time you travel to the country? Let us know in the comments below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to Channel CSR for more videos about responsible business practices in future.